folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to put the LS motor that we painted and detailed in one of the other videos into the 83 square body C10 chassis. You've seen me do some work on the chassis. We've done disc brakes on it, we've powder coated it, put all new Ride-Tech suspension, and now we're going to drop the LS in it. So let me show you a few of the things that we've done. All right, so most of the suspension is on, and it's time to put the motor in. I have got the motor mounts, putting the last coat of paint on them, so they're still wet, so it's gonna take me a minute to get started. But you've seen the motor details, and it's kind of filthy right this minute, but it'll clean up in one of the other videos. And this is pretty cool. I made this out of a piece of exhaust tubing a couple years ago. I've used it 10 or 15 times. It's a 2.5 inch exhaust pipe with a hole drilled in the top of it, just as the minimal hole that you can do. Chain's going through it, looped around, and what it's doing, it's allowing the chain to pick the motor and everything up without crushing the intake. And you'll have a little bit shorter throw on your engine hoist, because we're operating in a tight area today, and I needed to use that. But anyway, LS motor, got a little cam in it. New gaskets, sealed it up really good. It's a low mileage motor, so it should do the job really well. So let me get these motor mounts put on, and then we'll get this motor dropped in. All right, so you know we sandblasted and powder coated everything, and these motor mount stands come with a series of bolts or holes for the bolts. The top holes are for your V8. The bottom holes are for the 6-cylinder. So when you're going back, you need to make sure that you have these in the right holes, because everything's clean and you don't know where it came out. And there's 4 bolts on the motor mount, but there's only 3 bolts on this stand. So don't get worried. It only uses 3 bolts. So there you go. Just in case you forget, that'll help you. All right, so don't forget to put these motor mounts in the holes that are the highest up on the frame mounts, on the motor mount frame brackets. The other holes are for the 6-cylinder model, and your motor mounts won't line up. All right, I'll get from behind and get those nuts in. This is definitely when you need to have small hands. We get these brake lines secure. I got new clips ordered for that. I gotta clean the brake lines up a little bit. I can do that inside. I blew out all the original brake lines. There is no, the brake fluid looked new. The system had never been block. So I got the motor mounts painted. I got them bolted to the block. I left the bolts just a little loose because these are adjustable, and I can slide them forward, which will slide the motor backwards, and hopefully get it adjusted to where I can use the original drive shaft. Hoping that that'll work. Transmission will clear the bell housing. So if that works, then perfect. But this is how you install the motor mounts. I'll have a link in the description where I got the motor mounts. They are really nice and heavy. Hopefully they'll hold up good, and they are adjustable. No no multi-pieces or anything like that. They bolt directly to the block. So let's see if we can't get this motor in. All right, got one side in. That's usually a good sign. And then let's go around and get the other side in. Remember, I left the mounts, I just snugged them up so that I could adjust this. So we got it bolted in. We're gonna leave everything loose. Somewhere in the mail, I've got a transmission mount. But for right now, the LS is in the chassis, and the LS is in the chassis. I'm happy. It looks great. Got a lot of valve covers and stuff like that to do, but this is going to be a really fun driver on a budget. So let's see what's next. All right, so I got the engine hoist out of the way, got everything unhooked, and I do believe I'm excited about it. Nice clean motor, nice clean install. I've still got all of my digits, which is a miracle for me here lately. Seems like every time I turn around, I'm trying to hurt myself. All right, now that I've got the weight on the chassis, I can jack it up and get my shocks bolted to the A-arms and get the sway bar links hooked up, and then I can put the suspension on, and then we'll go ahead and get all of our ball joints, castle nuts on, and our clips in, and we'll go ahead and grease the front end so we won't forget. So, what's next? All right, let me take a seat here and relax with a job well done today. Some of you might ask, Spanky, you are a traditional hot rod guy, and you like putting flatheads and nail heads and all kinds of stuff in all of your hot rods. Why are you putting an LS motor in this old square body C10? All right, you're right. I am a traditional hot rod guy, and I'm probably one of the last to experiment with some of this LS stuff. But here is my thinking on this job right here. This truck is going to be driven daily. It needs to be a high performance vehicle to do autocross and get 35 miles to the gallon and have horsepower too. But at the same time, it's budget minded. So not this particular motor. This has had some goodies and stuff put inside of it and all of that. But if you're thinking about doing an LS swap on a classic vehicle, here's my take on it. Great modern horsepower. The computer, the EFI, all that good stuff, fires right up. Man, you can't beat it. If you're gonna open the hood and you got an LS in your car, in your 55 Chevy or your 32 Ford or something like that, then chances are I'm gonna look over in it and think that you did a good job and that it probably runs its butt off. But that's about all I'm gonna do, because there's no visual appeal to them for me, because I'm a traditional guy. But if you look at it as a economical performance upgrade to a classic vehicle, it is great. If you're gonna drive that 55 Chevy or that 32 Ford coast to coast, you want good mileage, good performance on a budget, man, this is the bang of fruit for your buck. Now you can spend a lot of money, and I'm gonna do some of that on this one just to make myself feel better about it, and give it a little bit of a vintage retro look. I think those are awesome. I think that's great for us guys that grew up back in the day where there really wasn't an LS motor. But just think about it. If you were to find you a good, reliable source and got you a pull-out motor and transmission, computer, the whole deal, for $2,000 and under, think about how much money you just saved. These things will run 250, 350,000 miles. They got horsepower, and you can tune them with a laptop to even get more horsepower. If you had a small block Chevy, you're going to spend $3,500 to rebuild that motor. Then you're going to buy an intake. Then you're going to buy a carburetor or fuel injection. Then you're going to buy an ignition system, and then all of your other little bolt-on goodies that comes along with having a new motor. You're going to have $5,000, $6,000, if not more, in that small block Chevy. Now, part of me, I'm okay with that. But if you're on a budget, like I said, this right here is the best bang for the buck. Now, that's me saying this now. Let me get finished with it and see how much money, is invested in it at the end. But for right now, I think it's a good choice, because just think, if you bought a quality EFI, electronic fuel injection system, for your hot rod, you're going to spend more money than you can buy this whole motor, transmission with all of the EFI stuff on it, from a salvage yard out of a wrecked Chevy truck. So to each his own. You got to figure out what you want to do with your car, how you want to feel about it at the end, and how much money you've got to spend, and how fast you want to go, and how many miles to the gallon you want to get. So, but I'm curious what you guys think. I mean, I'm a hard sell on this. I'd like to hear from you. Tell me what you think about putting these modern motors in these classic cars. My YouTube demographics, most of you guys, probably 60% of the people that watch my videos are from the age of 45 to 75, 85. So I'd like to know what you guys think, because y'all are all in my age group, and I want to see if I'm still thinking the right way, or if I should have done this a long time ago. Anyway, I'm rambling on. I know you guys got a lot to do, so when you get through watching this video, get out in the garage and go build something. Thanks for watching. See you soon.